What's on, guys? Today I'm going to show you how to turn your Apple Watch into the ultimate surf watch. So as a traveling surfer, I'm always keen to track all the awesome breaks I'm paddling out at, whether that's the Maldives, Indonesia, Morocco, South Africa, Australia, or beyond. So when the Apple Watch first came out, I was like, sweet, it can track swimming, surely it can track surfing as well. Well, the answer wasn't quite as easy to find as I thought, and I spent a long time trawling through the internet, trying to find guides, trying to find the right apps, add-ons, complications. It's a bit of a mess out there. Luckily, I've now managed to narrow it down to 2 free apps, yep, totally free, that will help you turn your Apple Watch into the ultimate surf watch. So this guide is just going to give you this simple rundown of everything you need to do to get the surf report, tides, and your waves on your Apple Watch. Let's get the obvious question out of the way. Is the Apple Watch waterproof? Well, yes it is. Apple Watch Series 3 onwards is waterproof. It's not depth proof, but it was certainly enough to cover surfing and swimming. So happy days, no need to worry about that. So first up, we're going to configure the Surface app. Now this is the app that's going to give you access to your tidal data and most importantly, your surf report. Yep, you can get your surf report right here on the watch face, so you can easily just have a quick check and be like, sweet, let's go for a surf. So launch the app on your iPhone, click plus in the top left, and then you can select from a list of spots from Magic Seaweed and just click select. Then all you need to do is head down to the options in the bottom right, and where it says complications, just tap it until it says tides. You can select tide indicator as well. I personally just prefer the tide option because it gives a nice little icon on your home screen of your watch. So now it's time to make sure everything is set up on your Apple Watch as well. So on your iPhone, launch the Watch app, head down to the list of apps at the bottom and click install on both Surface and Dawn Patrol. Now this will take a couple of minutes, but once that's all done, you're all set up. And you can see in the installed apps and complications section that they're both listed in there, which is very important for the next stage. With both of those installed on your Apple Watch, it's now time to set up your actual watch face to display everything you want. Now, as you can see from my screen, I've gone with the modular option just because it gives the clearest overview of everything and allows me to put in a couple of time zones for London and Sydney, which I also need. Now head down to the complications section. If you want the full surf report, which I'm assuming you do, you'll need to select the middle section for this. So click that, then scroll all the way down until you get to the surface section. Select that, boom, it all updates, and as you can see in the modular bit at the top, you've now got your surf report there. Now the second section you'll want to set up is the tides. As you can see, I've gone for the bottom left section for that. So again, click on that, scroll all the way down to surface, click OK, and you'll find that you've now got a nice little tide icon in the bottom left. Obviously you can move those things around as you want, but yeah, the most important thing to remember on that is middle if you want the surf report. So the surf's pumping, let's go track some of your waves using the Dawn Patrol app. Now you'll be pleased to know this is way simpler than getting everything set up, so don't worry about that. It's just a case of going down to the beach, getting leashed up, ready to paddle out. Then all you have to do is hit the crown button on your Apple Watch, launch the Dawn Patrol app by clicking the icon, and you'll have a nice simple page that simply says start session with a big button. Hit that button, you're good to go. It's as simple as that. So while you're out in the water with Dawn Patrol running on your Apple Watch, you'll notice a few things on the screen. As you kick out a wave, you'll get the stats from that particular wave. So that'll be your fastest speed, your total ride time, and your total ride length. Now that information will appear for about a minute on the screen. You can adjust that before you go for a surf. So you can quickly check and see how good your last ride was. When that's not on the screen, you'll have the stats from your overall session. So your total ride time, your total wave count, and your total ride length. And then also in the corner, you'll have your current heart rate. And in the other corner, you'll have your total session time as well. So you've got all the stats you need right on your wrist as you're in the lineup. So you've had an epic surf session, you've caught loads of waves, and your app has been running on your watch the entire time, tracking everything. So the first thing you need to do when you get out of the water is stop the app session. So all you need to do that is spin the crown on your Apple Watch. This will deactivate waterproof mode. It'll make some beeps. And then on the watch face, all you do is press stop session. Now this can be a bit fiddly if your hands and the watch is wet. So it might be worth using a t-shirt or a towel just to dry your hands and the watch before doing that. Then it's a case of just uploading the data to your phone by launching the Dawn Patrol app, and we can have a look at your session. So what details does Dawn Patrol track on your surf session? Well, there's an easy way to find out. Just jump into the app. So all you need to do is go onto your iPhone, launch the Dawn Patrol app, and it will give you a list of all your surf sessions, as you can see here, along with the surf spot you were at. So let's jump into my last surf session, 10th of June, Old Man's, where I got 9 waves. So as you can see, the first thing you've got is a GPS satellite overview of the surf spot, which is pretty cool to check out, especially if you're surfing points and things like that. Good way of checking the reef. If you zoom in, you can then click on individual waves to view your stats. So as you can see here, wave 7, top speed of 21 miles an hour, length of 184 meters, and I rode that wave for 31 seconds. So pretty sick wave overall. You can then swipe up and it'll give you a bit more of an in-depth overview of that wave, including your speed throughout it. So as you can see, a little bit of a paddle drop in, that's where my top speed is, and then a few turns in there to generate speed along the wave as well. Now if you go back to the overall screen of your surf session, you can also swipe up and it will give you even more details. So as you can see, I got 9 waves. I surfed for a total of 1.4 kilometers and a total ride of 3 minutes 45 seconds. Now on this screen, you've also got where your waves are in terms of where the tide is, so it's pretty cool. You can check out your speed of each wave. So you can see there, my top speed was wave 2, 22.1 miles an hour. And then also your distances as well. So you can see my top ride, that one was ride 4, 223 meters long, which is pretty sick, hey? Now also on the main screen of your session, you can also select the stack button and it will also display your missed waves, which is slightly depressing, so I don't really look into this, but it's good to see where you're missing waves and where you're kind of turning on a paddle on the way back out to see if you can get a cheeky insider. So there we go. And if you head back into the main section of the app as well, you can select boards. So you can add different boards you're riding and attach them to different surf sessions. So you can see, you know, which board performs best at which break. And then of course you can go into your records as well, which displays everything. So as you see, since I've been using the watch, I've caught 619 waves, surfed for a total distance of 39.2 kilometers, and stood up on waves for 2 hours and 5 minutes. You can see my top speed was 26.8 mile an hour, Coffee Bay in South Africa, sick wave that was. My longest wave was 231 meters long at Greenmount, which is a surf spot next to Snapper Rocks in Australia. And my best wave time was a 39-second ride at Chickens in the Maldives, which is off Tulusadoo Island. So yeah, it's pretty cool to keep track of everything. You can also link it to your Facebook profile so you can share your waves, and you can also sync it to the cloud. So if you lost your phone, your watch, or changed anything, you can still get back all the stats from your surf. So yeah, that's the Dawn Patrol app. It's a pretty sick little app. As you can see, the interface is really nice. You can set up a profile picture and things like that as well. But yeah, highly recommended and the perfect way to track your surf. Also, one thing I've been asked quite frequently is how much does the Apple Watch cost and why would I do this over getting the Rip Curl GPS watch? Now for me, I'm using the Apple Watch Series 3, which now retails at £279 and is actually reasonably on par price-wise with the Rip Curl GPS 2 series, which is £220. Now for me personally, that extra bit of money to get all the extra features of the Apple Watch, as well as being able to display the surf report directly on the watch face, was definitely worth it. If you do opt for the Apple Watch Series 4, there is a bigger price gap, so it really depends on your personal budget on that side of things. But overall, I think as an iPhone user as well, having all the extra features and apps and tracking things of the Apple Watch does make it a better investment than the Rip Curl one. And there you have it, guys. That's my guide to turning your Apple Watch into the ultimate surf watch. If you do have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below and I will respond. And I've also linked in the description to my written blog post, just in case you find that a little bit easier to follow. So yeah, guys, that's it for this week. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and enjoy tracking all your surf sessions. See you in the lineup.